Good evening, everyone. Wanted to drop in here, and I'm probably a little late to the game, but I kind of figured everybody's been following the news over the last week with all the hurricane stuff that's been going on and um, all the unrest over in the Middle East. So I kind of figured I'd take a break a little bit for a few days. But one thing I really want to touch on, and I want to say this first before I get into anything else, is I really want to say a big thank you to all the people that are down and doing the recovery efforts down in North Carolina and um, I know parts of Georgia, whatever, but North Carolina's got hit really hard, and I want this, I want these people to be an inspiration to all of us that definitely step up and part of their community because I mean a lot of us just can't pack up and leave like some of these people have, and I know um, a lot of them maybe have family there or whatever, but there's a lot of people that have just really stepped up to the plate and they've really gone out of their way, um, you know, put their lives on hold to go down there and help with the rescue efforts. And I'm hearing some incredible stories. So I really want to say a thank you. And really, you guys are you're in my prayers, and I ask that we definitely keep all these people in our prayers because these are real heroes. Um, you know, these are the everyday folks that are putting their lives on the line. Many of them at their own cost, that are going down there. Meanwhile, our government is down there shuffling papers and you know dealing with bureaucrats and all the nonsense that goes along with that. So as always, in any kind of situation like this, you never want to rely on the government. But I really do. I want these people to be an inspiration to all of us, and even in the people that are really fighting to stay alive down there that have lost everything. You know, you know, let's if anything good can come out of this, maybe we can learn. From as from a preparedness side of things. You know, maybe there's some takeaways that we can take. That we can learn from this. And as I have heard a few stories that I kind of wanted to touch on it, and I saw an interview with a couple that was rescued down there, and many of you may have saw this interview, and it was the one regarding the there was a chopper pilot, a local guy that just owned a helicopter, and him and his son went out and they wanted to see if they could help out, and they saw a couple that was stranded. I guess I don't know if the road had washed out. I don't know the whole circumstance of why they were stranded, but they couldn't get out, away from their home, and their home I believe had kind of maybe subsided or slid down the hill. I don't know the whole story, so I don't know if it was really safe, but they were still there at their home and couldn't get out. And this guy flew in there with his son, and he didn't have a lot of room. Wasn't a real big helicopter. Flew the woman to like a checkpoint where they had some FEMA and they had some firemen, and brought this woman there and was going to go back and bring her husband back and pick up his son also. And the fire department actually threatened him with arrest if he actually went back and brought the husband there because he didn't follow proper protocols and all this nonsense, and these kind of stories you're hearing a lot of. But there was something that I took away from this story because they actually had reunited these people, and this helicopter pilot had gone back and told the guy, "Hey, I'm sorry, but I can't take you there to be with your wife because they're going to arrest me if I do." Which, like I said, in itself is just completely horrific. But it just goes to show you if you get a takeaway from that part of the story, it's that our government is a total failure. And in a situation like this, so what if the man didn't, if he didn't, if he violated some kind of a protocol or didn't convey the information right? Tell him how to do that. Don't threaten to arrest him. Tell him how to do it. Hey, can you do this next time? Go get the husband, but when you come back, let us know you're coming in. This is why you don't want to sit around and rely on the government. So I don't want to get off on that tangent, but the part of the story that I as I was listening to these people talking, they had only been there for about 2 days, and they were saying that by the time that this man had come to get them, that they only had a couple of they were surviving on a couple of bottles of water and some potato chips. And I don't think anybody else may have picked up on this in the story, but I actually kind of did, and where it really made me think about from this community as far as being prepared is that's actually kind of scary that was really what they had to rely on for 2 days. And if there's a takeaway that I want that I want to convey for this is think about that for a minute. This is a perfect example of why you need to have some stuff stored in your house. Even if you have a week's worth, a month's worth, 2 weeks worth, whatever you think is comfortable, but to be down after 2 days to a bottle of water and some potato chips is pretty frightening. So that's the takeaway I want to get. But I want this is such a horrific situation down there. But if there's any lessons to be learned, at least maybe if that might be the good thing that might come out of this. But I really do. I really want to I really want to convey that to, not only learn from that, but, be inspired by these people that are risking their lives every day down there right now. There's a lot of people, donate money. And if you can, definitely go on. I'm not going to sit here and say donate to the Red Cross or FEMA. I'd never do that. Maybe if somebody down there that has a local church, I don't know if you've ever checked out the channel Bear Independent, but I know he's down there, Grindstone Ministries, which that's one I plan on at least donating something to help them. I'm sure they can use all the help they can get. And just from following his channel a little bit over the last few years, this isn't the first time they've done this. They've been out in tornadoes, I believe in Oklahoma last year. And I've watched over the last few years the work that they've done. So definitely, if you can, go on there and help them out because they're on the front lines. There's many other ones. Like I said, you follow particular people down there. I know. So yeah, check out their site. I know Pinball Preparedness is another one that he's been doing. Taking supplies and things like that. So definitely check out these channels of these people that are down there because they really are they're really on the front lines and they're actually doing good. So, but definitely that's the one takeaway. One of the takeaways that I want to get from this. But like I said, because I don't want it to be it's such a negative situation. If we can find a positive. But that's what I really wanted. I really want to take the time to thank anybody that's down there. You're really an inspiration to us all. And, my prayers are definitely with you. And I ask if any of my viewers to definitely keep them in their prayers. And if you can donate, if you have the time or know how, I know it's not easy to just up and go, especially now with the cost of things. And, people are really having it tight just in their own communities that aren't affected. So I totally get that. But, if you can do a little bit, definitely check it out. But, another thing that I want to take away is, once again, the problem that I'm hearing that FEMA has, is limited on funds and they don't have enough money to do things. And, you're hearing a lot of stories where they're basically just setting up and they're writing names down and they're taking reports and all this stuff. There's people don't need this. And if anything we can take away from these disasters, that you never want to rely on your government to come in and help you because they're not going to be there for you. You need to be your own first responder. I'm quoting that from somebody else. That's not my quote, but it's definitely true in that case. Never rely on the government to come because, as you can see, government is a total failure in these situations. They come in too late. They come in unprepared. A lot of it gets to be ego driven where, just some of these cases where you have everyday people that have the capabilities to come in and help, and they're being turned away for what reason? Because of a paperwork snafu or, oh, well, you didn't call us and tell us you were coming. It's utter nonsense. And it just, like I said, once again, it exposes the complete failure of our government when they're needed most. But one of the other things I want to, think about, they're saying that FEMA's low on funds. Why is FEMA low on funds? We have been sending billions upon billions of dollars to Ukraine. We've been sending $40 million a week to the Taliban, for crying out loud, in Afghanistan. We're sending money now to Lebanon. We've been supplying, we're over there helping Israel out. And I don't want this to be an anti-Israel rant or nothing like that. This has nothing to do with it. My point is, we're always helping all these other countries. I have yet to hear of one other country step up and say, hey, we want to come over. We want to do something to help the United States out. They're going through a horrible time. Their citizens are, going through a horrific disaster. It's always complete silence. But if this happens, if there's a tsunami in the Philippines, or if there's an earthquake in Haiti, we're the first ones on the scene. We're sending billions of dollars over. You know, we always have enough money for all these other countries and their disasters, their war, to help them fight their wars and fight their pandemics and stuff. But when it comes to our own people, we seem to always be the pocketbook always seems to be a little empty. So this is definitely something to keep in mind, and it just goes back to the thing. Like I've said, like I always say, and that's what this channel is basically based on. Be prepared. Prepare yourself. And some of these people, in their defense, there's no way you could prepare for what happened down there, which is unfortunate. But, there could be a chance. I mean, you can still have your preparations in order, because there's a good chance you may have been spared, as were some of these people. But at least they would have had some supplies on hand to keep them, at least keep them surviving. You may not be comfortable, but at least you're surviving for a few days until help can arrive. So, like I said, that's another thing just to consider. But the whole situation is just so dire, and it's just so such a sad thing to watch that our own countrymen going through this while we're helping everybody else around the world. But once again, something to keep in mind with the election season coming up, and if you ask me, I'm still skeptical whether the election is going to take place. But I don't want to, that's for another video, I guess. So anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. If you can do anything to reach out to help anybody down there, if you can make a small donation, if you have any contacts down there that could maybe forward some stuff, whatever, definitely take advantage of that. But in the meantime, thanks for stopping by, and I'm definitely going to try to keep up on this a little bit, because there's a lot more to talk about besides what's going on down here. But I wanted to keep this video more about the hurricane than some of the things that are going on, like in the Middle East now. And I may try to do another one tomorrow, and we'll kind of touch on those things a little bit as far as some of the unrest that's going around outside of the country. So anyway, good night, everybody. God bless, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks for stopping by. And if you like this video, please share it and give it a like. Take care.